You shouldn't just rush to start your business once you have an idea you feel can be profitable. You need to sit down and think about your goals for this company and what you hope to achieve. Do you want to go the whole distance and be the next big thing? Or do you want to start a company to maintain a steady income and earn a little extra? There are no right or wrong goals. It all comes down to what you want to do. It helps, however, if you have a clear mental image of which direction you want to move in so you can get off on the right foot. Why you should always set goals. If you want your business to succeed, goal setting isn't optional. It'd be like embarking on a journey into the unknown with no end destination in mind, let alone a compass. How else will you measure your progress and success if you don't have goals? No one is saying you have to know where your company will be in 10 years, but you can at least think about where you see your business in a year or two. Goals provide you with direction and a sense of purpose, and they show you the roadmap that you have to follow if you want to get somewhere specific. Goals also motivate you when things get rough, and you can be certain they will. If you have clear goals in mind, when you're down and everything looks bleak, you'll look to those goals and remember why you're doing what you're doing. And you will find your motivation to keep going despite all the difficulties. Your personal motivation aside, goal setting will take your business forward. If you don't look ahead, you'll stay right where you are. Progress and growth mean looking forward and finding new heights to reach. When you set goals and knock them out of the park, you'll set others, and as a result, your business will keep moving forward rather than remaining stagnant. With goals in place, you can measure progress and tweak your processes as you go along. You will refine your approach and think of alternatives when one isn't working. This way, you'll keep learning and keep achieving your goals one after the other. Setting goals is how you measure your team's progress and their ability to work toward a specific target. Otherwise, you'd all be just working for the sake of working. Perhaps, most importantly, setting goals is how you measure your own growth. You start a business because you want to be in a better place than you were, and having clear goals ensures that you are moving towards that place. How to start setting goals for your business. Focus on the big picture. Why did you start your business? This is the first question you need to ask yourself when setting your goals. It all comes down to this one clear question. This is the one thing you'll keep going back to when you need motivation and when you lose sight of why you started a company in the first place. The answer becomes your overriding goal and is your idea of success. And it's the big picture that your entire company will try to focus on. Again, there isn't a right or wrong big picture goal. It should be something that matters to you, and it shouldn't be a short-term goal. Those will come later. But before you can think about short-term goals that you can track and measure, you need to consider the ultimate goal you're working toward. In other words, the big picture isn't buying a luxury car. It's having a successful company with dozens of people who make a good living, or running a business so successful that it becomes a source of passive income for you so you could retire early. I always recommend writing this major goal down on a piece of paper so you have it on you at all times. It doesn't even have to be just one goal. It can be any major life event that you want to achieve but can't at the moment. From buying your parents a house to being featured as a successful entrepreneur. Break it down. Writing a goal like being a billionaire might seem absurd for small business owners, but everyone has to start somewhere. The key to making these goals look realistic and attainable is to break them down. If you look at each of your major goals separately, it will look impossible, and just the idea of starting will be frustrating. This is why you need to break each of them down into smaller business goals you can actually achieve. If we take a small business as an example, your first big goal would be to pay off your debts and break even so you could start generating profits, which sounds daunting for a small company just starting out. So, how about we break it down? Instead of breaking even, set a goal to increase sales by 6% every month. Achieve that goal 1 month after the other, and you will break even before you know it. See how much more attainable the goal is after you've broken it down? This strategy applies to any major goals or dreams you have for your company. When you break down bigger goals into smaller actions, you also get to track your progress so you can understand if you're going in the right direction. If you're not, you can make instant changes to get right back on track and achieve that monthly or weekly target. Setting smart goals. You're going to come across this term quite often, and for a good reason. Many successful entrepreneurs in the business world follow the rule of SMART goals, which stands for specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-based goals. This approach guides you through setting targets you can track and achieve, and then move on to the next one. Here's what each of those words means. Specific. For a goal to work, it needs to be specific. You can't just set a goal to make money. It has to be specific. Make money by selling my products on Amazon. The more specific your goal is, the easier it becomes to find the tools and resources to achieve it and take the baby steps towards it. To set a specific goal, ask yourself these questions. What do I want to achieve? Why is it important that I accomplish it? Who are the players involved in achieving it? Where is it located? Which resources do I need to accomplish it? Answering these questions will focus your thoughts, and in turn, efforts, on exactly what you need to accomplish. Measurable. How will you know if you successfully reached your goal if you can't measure or track it? Being able to assess your progress helps you stay motivated and focused. When it's time to measure your progress in achieving something, and you find that you are on track, you'll get an immense boost to keep doing what you're doing. Ask yourself these questions to set a measurable goal. How much or how many products? How much money? How do I know that I achieved what I set out to do? An example of a measurable goal is driving 20% traffic to your website, which can be easily measured through analytics and tools. Achievable. This may be one of the more challenging aspects of setting a SMART goal because it forces you to be grounded in reality. The goal that you set has to be achievable. In other words, it needs to be realistic. It should be more than the previous goal, and it should test your abilities. But it also has to be doable and within the realm of possibility. It's important to remember that attainable here means attainable to you. It doesn't matter if others can set a bigger goal in the same amount of time. Focus on your organization and your own abilities. Moreover, set goals that you have power over, not someone else. Hiring a good team is an example of something you can control, unlike getting a business loan or an investor on board example, which is up to someone else's control. To set an achievable goal, ask yourself, how can I accomplish this? And how realistic is the goal based on the current resources, financial and other, at my disposal? Relevant. Your goals should align with your overall big picture goals and should drive your company toward the end result. You need to set goals that drive the business forward and push your team to grow while also moving you closer to your personal goals. Ask yourself if your goal is worthwhile and if it's the right time to set it. Does it align with the bigger picture? Time-based. A goal that isn't time-bound isn't a goal. It's a wish. Every goal you set for yourself and for your organization needs to have a deadline so you can focus your efforts and optimize your resources accordingly. Having a time-based goal means you can find the balance between everyday tasks and long-term goals. Ask yourself, when do I need to achieve this goal? What can I do a month from now to work toward it? What can I do now? This approach can be tailored to any organization's goals, and you'll find that they make a world of difference in how you approach your business and personal goals. When you organize your thoughts in this particular order, you'll be able to take action toward achieving what you want to achieve. I'd also highly recommend also taking time to celebrate your success. When you're in the heart of things, it's hard to stop and admire what you've achieved. But celebrating your success is how you find the motivation to keep going. Don't dwell on your success for too long because the journey is still long and there's still much more to be done. However, take a moment to acknowledge that you're on the right track and have achieved much so far. Basics of online businesses. We've briefly mentioned some examples of online businesses, like dropshipping or giving courses on the internet. This chapter will dive into the world of online businesses and what it means to have an online presence as a company. Needless to say, whether your services or products are online or in-store, you need some form of online presence, one way or the other. Billions of people shop online every year, and it's a figure that is growing daily, and billions more use social media. This is why you can't afford to skip out on having a digital presence, which we'll also cover when we talk about marketing. Whether your business is small or big, you need a website. People want to check your products and services to learn more about what you have to offer. Perhaps more so, having a website inspires confidence and shows that you're a serious business, rather than someone with a Facebook page selling homemade products. It makes people take you seriously and begin to believe that you are a legitimate business that wouldn't scam them. Naturally, having a website is a must if you want to create an e-commerce platform selling goods online, but it is of equal importance to just about any business. We'll explore the things you have to keep in mind while you're trying to build a website for your small business. The domain name. Some entrepreneurs don't put too much thought into their domain name, also known as the website address, but this is a huge mistake. The first thing people come across regarding your brand is your website's domain name. If it's absurd or too long, it makes a terrible first impression that can be difficult to change later down the line. The importance of your website's domain has to do with the search engine optimization, SEO, as well, which we'll explore in a bit. But for now, you should know it affects your search engine ranking and how easily people can find your website. The simpler the website name is, the easier it is for users to read and pronounce it. Avoid made-up words and those that are only recognizable to people in the business. You should also steer clear of slang and informal words because they risk alienating more serious users. Your domain should also be short so people can remember it and type the name from memory if they want to search for your website. Long domains with multiple words are only forgettable. They're also annoying and an eyesore. So, avoid hyphens and numbers because no one will remember the number at the end of your domain, which means they'll be frustrated when they try to search for it again and will probably give up looking. Numbers and hyphens also make it harder for people to pronounce your brand name and could cause misrepresentation, which is the last thing any brand needs. For a small business, it is always best to go with the basic domain extension .com rather than .net or .co, because those are confusing and can also be easily forgotten. You should also try to include keywords if possible in your domain name because they make it easier for search engines to recognize you and, in turn, for users to find you. Keywords can include the line of work and location, like www.ontarioplumbing.com or www.seattlebookshop.com. However, it would be better to have a domain name specific to your brands, like Google or Apple, since this gives you the option to expand in the future rather than sell just plumbing services or books, like with the previous two examples. But brand domains like those can be expensive to buy for a small business. So, do some research and make sure you can find an appropriate domain for your budget. Also, do some digging to make sure the name you had in mind isn't taken. Choose a web hosting platform. With your domain name ready, you need to find a web hosting platform so you can start building your website. A web hosting platform is a company that hosts users' websites that will then be accessible via the internet. There are many options, but not all would be suited for a small business like yours. So, do a little digging and compare options to find the best platform to host your domain. There are a lot of web hosting platforms, and all offer a myriad of features so you can take full control of your website. You connect your domain name to the hosting service, and it's stored there. When users access your website, they access the domain stored in the web hosting servers. Prices of web hosting services may vary depending on the kind of features you want, and it could be as little as $5 a month and up to $100 or more. The more you pay, the better the tech you get, and the more sophisticated the features are. You usually get discounts if you select yearly plans. You should check that the web host supports mobile viewing, since most users view websites via their phones. You could look into and pay more for other features, but make sure you don't spend too much money on features that you don't really need. Security features are another angle to be mindful of. Check the server's security and the kind of features they offer to protect your data. Regular backup should be done to your server data, preferably daily. Ask if the web host has regular security maintenance and ask to see proof of it. And you also have the right to check the host's security credentials. Most good hosts have available security protocols, usually published, so you can check and see how the host will keep your data safe. Choose a web builder. Now, you have a domain and a web host for it. This means it's time to start building a website. There are plenty of web building tools out there, but you need to find one suited for your business. Unless you have previous coding experience, it's integral that you look for an accessible web building service that can help you create the website without needing programmers. Many of these websites offer ready-made templates you can choose from and customize to your own liking, and they don't need coding experience. Web building services are also known as content management systems, CMS, and are used for more than building a website. You use a CMS to manage and maintain your website long after you build it. You do any changes you need to make to the design or additions through the CMS, so you need to find a solid service that does not make your life miserable whenever you need to make the slightest change to your content. The most popular and commonly used CMS is WordPress, and it's this popular for a good reason. WordPress gives you a ton of cool features and plugins that you can add to customize your website however you please. Among WordPress's features is its active community that offers support and help whenever you're stuck doing something. Moreover, it's free, so you pay nothing to build and manage a website using WordPress. It's one of the easiest CMSs to install and use, and someone with no experience building websites can use it to create a visually pleasing and helpful website. WordPress's popularity is an advantage to users because most agencies and programmers have used it before. So, if you want to invest in creating an even better and more sophisticated-looking website, you can easily find someone to help you. It's one of the most flexible CMSs you can find, but WordPress is not without its drawbacks. Due to its popularity, it's a target of many hackers. This is why you need to regularly update and maintain its security to avoid hacking attempts. This means keeping an eye on third-party plugins, which most website owners use because they are helpful. Securing those particular plugins requires vigilance and updating third-party sources all the time, not to mention deleting any that you don't use. WordPress is only a web builder, meaning it cannot host your website. You'll only use it to manage your content, and you'll need to find a separate web host service. Other content management systems out there like Wix offer both website hosting and building services. So you'll host and manage your website using the same platform, but you get significantly less flexibility with Wix compared to WordPress. Other CMS offer similar benefits to WordPress but increased security, like Drupal. It's also easy to use and has a good support community, but you get fewer features and plugins, so you don't have as many extensions on your website. Prices for content management systems vary, WordPress aside, depending on the features and tech you want. Build your website. Take your time to build a memorable and eye-catching website. Some web builders offer simple templates where you can drag and drop features around your website. However, I'd advise you to take it slowly to build a good website that users would appreciate. User experience on your website determines if they will stay long enough to make a purchase or be curious about your brand. If you make their lives a living hell, users will simply walk away and find another website with a better user experience. Remember that the website is the first thing people learn about your brand, so you need to leave an everlasting impression. Most web builders will offer themes and templates that you can choose from. Look for visually pleasing graphics and basic colors. Don't go with flashy or blinding colors because they can be too off-putting for most viewers. You should also select the right fonts. They shouldn't be too small or too big. Find the right balance between font sizes. It should be big enough to read, but not too big as to annoy readers. On a more important note, avoid stylish fonts that might also be challenging for people to read. The clearer and easier the font is for people to read, the more they will stay on the website and learn about your services. When you upload graphics to your website, they need to be compressed to load fast. If they're not, they will be slow to load, which means a poor user experience and a low search engine ranking. Google doesn't take kindly to websites that take forever to load and make for a poor user experience. When you're designing your website, you need to be consistent with the visual language. You shouldn't change colors with every new tab on your website. There needs to be a unified visual direction and a set of colors that people later associate with your brand. It helps if you check competitor websites to see what companies like yours are doing and get inspiration for design ideas. You should also have done market research by this stage to understand which plugins and features need to be on your website. Try to customize your website to suit your target audience's needs. Never overestimate the importance of easy navigation through your website. Complicated websites with poor interfaces make for a terrible user experience and, in turn, poor traffic and sales, if any. You need to design an intuitive website that anyone can navigate with ease. Potential customers should be able to find whatever it is they're looking for on your website with minimum fuss and bother. Contact information should be visible and easily accessible. The last thing a user needs is to have a hard time finding a company's contact information when they're trying to buy a product. Generally speaking, your website should have all the basic pages that any small business would include: home, about us, contact us, product or services, terms and conditions, privacy policy, sitemap, the team, and additional pages related to the brand. People are comfortable with this standard format, making it easier for them to find what they're looking for. If you think this is just a replica of other websites, it's not. You get to innovate within each page as you wish, and you should. Add interesting graphics and high-quality photos of your website, and write thorough descriptions that answer questions about your products. While customizing your website, you will probably need to add plugins and extensions, depending on the web builder tool, which can add cool new features to your web page. These tools help you get the most out of your website, and they can take the user experience to the next level in more ways than you could expect. Web builders like WordPress give you access to thousands of different plugins that you can customize and tweak to add any feature you want to your website. However, you shouldn't add a ton of extensions to your website, as this will slow it down and prolong loading times. With plugins and extensions, resist the temptation to add as many as you can. Focus on the ones that can improve the overall user experience and improve security. For example, when it comes to performance, you need to use caching and data optimization to ensure a fast-loading website when your users return. You will also need to install security plugins that can protect your website against hacking and spamming attempts and malicious activity that can compromise user data. Other plugins that you need to keep in mind are data backup to protect your content in case there's a technical issue with the website. If you want to create an e-commerce website, you'll need a specific plugin for e-commerce to process your sales and handle online payments. Whatever extensions you add to your website, Make sure they're highly rated by other users and are consistent with updates. Read reviews about the extension to find out what other users had to say about the tool and its pros or cons. Populate the website. With the website designed and ready, it's time to start filling it with content. This is a critical step in your efforts to launch your small business's website, and it has to be done with enough consideration and planning to get the results you want. You shouldn't dump just any content onto your website and hope it will attract visitors. You need to have a plan in mind for each section and the content you'll add there. Going by the basic pages we mentioned earlier, let's take a look at what you can include. Homepage. This is the first thing users see on your website, so it has to include interesting graphics and a strong message. Moreover, the homepage needs to have a short, succinct overview of your services and products, but doesn't keep the readers on edge. People hate it when they log into a new website and after skimming through the homepage, they still can't figure out what you're selling. Make sure your message is clear on the homepage and show people why they should continue to explore your website. Last but not least, the homepage should include clear and direct navigation to other sections on the site. About Us. In this section, you get to tell users your story. What does your company do? What's your message? Talk about the team and your vision or how you can solve a problem that the consumer is facing. Products or services. Talk about your products and services and show the reader why they should purchase what you have to sell. Contact us. Show customers what they need to do if they want to reach out to you to inquire about something or place an order. You can include a form for them to fill out directly. You can also include an email address and/or phone number, but a lot of people find it cumbersome to send a new message to an email address. They'd rather fill out a quick contact form right in front of them. Encourage your customers to reach out with any questions they may have. You can and probably should include a blog, which is a must for many businesses these days and a powerful marketing tool that can drive traffic to your website. This blog can talk about industry-relevant news and the field itself and future updates. Optimize for search engines. We'll get back to SEO in a bit, but for now, you need to understand the importance of optimizing your website for search engines. Without it, people won't be able to find your website easily, which means it won't generate leads. In simple terms, SEO is how you improve your content to make sure your website ranks higher on search engine results. There are certain practices that any business needs to implement for search engines to acknowledge your website and its content and rank it higher. You can be certain that your competitors optimize their content for search engines, so you have to do it too if you want to stay in the game. Intuitive design and fresh content are essential factors in ensuring that your website has a solid ranking. Good SEO practices include adding relevant keywords in your posts and pages, adding social media links on your website, backlinking, having other relevant websites link back to yours, and having a good overall design. Site loading speed and ease of navigation are crucial factors that can either make or break your search engine ranking. If your website offers users a good experience, it will rank higher. If not, your ranking will be lower. Your website also needs to be mobile-friendly and easily accessible from any phone for its ranking to be good. Search engine optimization isn't something you do just once and forget about it. It's an ongoing process, and you keep updating and adapting your approach to improve your search engine ranking. SEO is basically the difference between your website showing up on the first page on Google's search results or the 100th. When your website is among the top results, you get high traffic and, in turn, generate leads and profits. Go live. Now, the only thing that's left is to publish your website. When you feel that your site is ready for visitors, you can go live and start showing your website to people who might be interested in your products. You should do a few final things before going live, starting with installing webmaster tools. Those tools will help you monitor and analyze your site's performance. Through tools like Google Analytics, you can track the volume of traffic to your website and how many viewers checked each page on the website. You also have access to critical data like bounce rate, which is the number of users who leave your website after a short time having viewed just one page. All this data and more will help you improve your website and implement SEO strategies to enhance performance. Factors like bounce rate affect your search engine ranking, as in, websites with high bounce rates have poor ranking because Google algorithms determine that your content has to be poor since users leave so quickly. You will have to check the data offered by these tools regularly so you can tweak and improve your website. Before you go live, test your website. Make sure it's mobile friendly and the user experience via phones doesn't have any glitches. You will need to have a website maintenance plan in place for search engine ranking and, more importantly, to stave off hacking attempts. Use the performance data from Webmaster Tools to make necessary changes to optimize performance and fix errors and warning messages. Always update your software regularly and never postpone updates, because this compromises the security of your entire network. Run security scans regularly to detect any malware and remove it. And as we mentioned several times, always back up your website data and do it consistently. Marketing for small business. If there is one thing that makes a world of difference in the success of a small business, it's marketing. There are offline marketing strategies that we will look into, and they do help sometimes. However, in the age of the internet, digital marketing is where you want to put your money. Compared to online marketing, offline strategies like print ads, outdoor advertising, or mailed coupons and vouchers bring in a fraction of the customers you'll need for your business to go. No matter how small your business is or what kind of product or service you're offering, the importance of digital marketing can never be overlooked. Why your business needs digital marketing. Wide reach. There are no limitations to who you can reach online. Before the internet, offering your products and services to a global market used to just be a dream. But with an online presence, you can reach a global audience with a Facebook post. Geographical boundaries disappear when it comes to the internet, which ensures that your business has the prospect to grow and expand if and when you're ready. Personalized marketing. The problem with offline marketing is that it is often random. You try to promote your products to as many people as possible and hope that some will like what they hear and buy. This is not the case with digital marketing. Thanks to digital tools like Google Analytics and many others, you can target specific audiences with your ads rather than spend a lot of time and money on targeting people that may not be interested in your services. The data you get from online marketing tools can help you know a ton of helpful details about your audience, from the kind of phones they use to their jobs. By analyzing this data, you can create targeted campaigns and engage your audience in a way you could never have before. A user's shopping patterns are also stored online, and you can use those to send emails with offers and even create content for your target audience based on which part of the shopping stage they are in. This kind of personalization makes it easier for you to generate leads and make a profit because you're not just promoting your products everywhere and hoping for the best. Instead, you're showing your products to the people you know would be interested in them. Engaging your customers. The internet presented businesses with a rare opportunity to interact directly with consumers and see what they like and what they don't. Through social media platforms and your website, you get to see what your customers think of your products and the industry itself. You get to keep your customers engaged with your content on social media platforms, and how they interact with that content can give you a clear idea of which directions you should go in the future. Moreover, when you interact and engage your customers, you develop a connection with them and create trust. People want to believe in the brands they're dealing with, and even a small business can develop consumer trust and have a large following. With interesting content, you can also inspire people and help them learn about things they never knew before. When you engage your customers on this level through social media and the internet, you can have something that most brands aspire to and very few achieve: customer loyalty. Saving money. Believe it or not, digital marketing actually saves you money in the long run. In the past, if you wanted to promote your business, you had to print brochures and ads or spend money on outdoor advertising. There are more expensive options, like taking out a newspaper ad or creating a TV ad, but those options were not available for most small businesses due to the high cost. With digital marketing, you can reach a large number of people for a fraction of the budget it would normally need to promote your services. Online presence doesn't cost you much, and it yields much better results. The great thing about online marketing strategies is that they are sustainable. Sure, you might have to tweak your approach in the future and make some changes, but if things are going in the right direction, you can keep doing what you're doing. This way, you'll have a constant source of leads, and you can ensure a steady flow of customers to your business. Now that you understand the importance of creating a powerful online presence, the question is, how do you start? Get an early start. As a small business, it can be easy to get lost in a million other details before you stop and think about your online presence. However, if there is one thing that you have to understand, it's the fact that your customers are online. Billions of people spend much of their time on the internet, whether for work or recreational purposes. If you want to reach those people, you need to start creating an online presence for your small business as soon as you can. When someone hears about your business and the services you offer, the first thing that they'll want to do is look you up. If they didn't find social media pages, let alone a website, most would assume that your brand isn't a very credible one. Your target audience wants to see what your content looks like. They also want to check if there are reviews from people who have dealt with you in the past. Why would they bother dealing with you if they can't find that? So, work on your online presence in parallel as you're in the process of launching your business. Go check what competitor websites are doing online to get some inspiration on which direction you should go with. It always makes a difference when you learn from your competition and try to think of ways you can improve on what they're doing. When it comes to online presence, check the competitors' websites and see what they're doing with graphics and product description. Do they have a blog? If so, how often do they update it? How do they communicate with their target audience, which incidentally will overlap with yours? What's unique about the brand tone and message? What kind of visuals do they use? And what is the general visual direction they are going with? These are all questions that can push you in the right direction while you're trying to establish your own online presence. Search engine optimization and digital marketing strategies. We briefly talked about search engine optimization early, and now we'll dive into it to learn what makes it the most important marketing tool for any business, regardless of size. As a small company, you are bound to have competitors of the same size, companies that offer the kind of services you offer with equally small capital. The problem, however, is with the big companies. Whatever field you decide to go into, there are quite a few mega corporations that you'll go up against. The good news is that you can go up against these companies despite the massive disparity in resources. How? By using search engine optimization. With SEO, you can rank high on search engines and be as visible to users as a company 10 times your size. The great thing about SEO is that many of its practices don't require a massive investment. Regularly updating your content and backlining, for example, are some of the top SEO strategies, and they don't cost more than hiring qualified content creators. Moreover, investing in SEO ensures that users in your area and beyond can find your website easily, and, in turn, become leads or customers. Let's explore some of the best SEO practices for a small business. Keyword placement. One of the most relevant SEO strategies is keyword placement. It might sound easy, but it takes finesse to use the right keywords in the right places. What do we mean by keywords? There are the words that your target audience is most likely to use when they're looking for services like yours online. For example, if you started a small plumbing services company, the relevant keywords would include plumbing, plumber, broken pipe, leaky faucet, repair pipes, drain, and clogged drain. These are just examples of words that people would associate with a service like yours. The keywords you use need to be placed around your website in the blog section, product pages, and any other section where placement is logical. This last point is crucial because Google algorithms will recognize poorly placed keywords and will lower your ranking. In other words, you shouldn't force keywords or plaster them all over an article in the hopes it would increase your search engine ranking. It won't. Keyword placement has to be natural and organic in a way that works within the article or description. Otherwise, it would probably harm your ranking. There are online tools like Google AdWords that can help you verify that people making online queries use your list of keywords, and you can also use it to find more relevant keywords that you can use on your website. The first place you should use keywords is the URL of your website, which should either have the brand name or a relevant keyword to the product or service you're selling. Keywords need to be added to your titles and metadata, the text that basically explains your website content to search engines and is not seen or accessible by ordinary users. The more keywords you use properly, the higher your website can rank and be visible to users. Before you publish your website, compile a list of relevant keywords, verify them using AdWords, and ensure their placement on your website is natural. Content marketing. Another very powerful tool at your disposal is the content you add to your website. People would engage with high-quality content, even if they didn't seek it out themselves. Search engines are a tool to help people find an answer to the questions they have about a certain service or product, and your website should also serve that function. This is why websites with quality content that is regularly updated always rank higher than those without. If you want to generate traffic to your website, you need to start creating exciting and compelling content that would hook visitors. This includes videos, photos, articles, and any other type of content that you know your target audience will want to view. The content on your website shouldn't be there to fill up space. It has to inform readers and provide them with information about your services or just information in general. Your content can also entertain site visitors. The one thing it shouldn't do is be irrelevant and boring, because people won't interact with it and they'd leave your website before spending too much time on it. The idea behind content marketing is that it establishes authority. Many websites online are trying to sell consumers something, but the consumer trusts companies that look like they know what they're talking about. Even for a small business with limited resources, you can establish your brand as an authority and demonstrate that you're not just in the business to make money. You do know what you're talking about. Consumers trust brands that invest in creating relevant videos and articles that leave them with a piece of information that they didn't have before. Of equal importance is the freshness of your content, which needs to be regularly updated with fresh articles, photos, and videos. Ask yourself this: if you go to a website looking for something and find that their latest article was 5 years ago, would you trust or deal with this brand? Probably not. The freshness of your content and the quality seriously affect your search engine ranking. If you want your website to have a good ranking, you can't afford to ignore content marketing. Make sure your content is always updated and relevant, and always offer your readers something, if not knowledge, then entertainment. Your website will get enough traffic with quality content, and your brand can be established as a thought leader and authority among its peers. Once that happens, your profits will only grow. Backlinking. The more you get other websites to carry links to yours, the higher your search engine ranking will be. Backlinking is another effective SEO strategy that makes a world of difference in how search engine algorithms view your website. Having backlinks on other websites shows the algorithms that your website is credible and valuable enough that other websites are referring to it in their articles and content. It also builds trust with users who stumble on your links on other websites. So, how do you get other website owners to add links to yours? The answer is very simple. You ask them. Backlinking is mutually beneficial to other website owners, which means you can ask them to carry your links and you do the same. The most important thing to keep in mind here is that it's always about quality rather than quantity when it comes to backlinking. A link to your website from a university or any other reputable website will do you more good than 20 from shady websites. Many website owners focus on getting as many backlinks as possible so that they don't stop to check the quality. Google algorithms recognize backlinks from shady websites and unknown blogs, and it reflects negatively on your ranking. Remember that backlinking is about building trust, and if you jeopardize that, you may never be able to regain that lost trust. If you want other websites to share your links, you have to offer value, not just by offering to host their links. Your content needs to be worthy of being featured across other websites. The thought will cross your mind to pay other websites to host your links, but you should never do that because the backlinks you'll get will be of poor quality and, again, it will harm your ranking. Search engines are extremely intuitive, and they can tell when a backlink has been bought. Rather than paying for a backlink, make your website content so valuable that others would race to link back to it. One of the ways you could do that is to leverage the unique data you've gathered through your market research. It's quite possible that the market insights you've developed during those early phases might be valuable to others. You can use this research to create valuable content that would interest your readers and have them constantly wanting to come back for more. People always take an interest in relevant data that could give them insight into their own experiences and shopping patterns. Something else you could do is create visually appealing and unique content on your website. Consumers are often visual, and most would rather see a 2-minute video than read an article that would take about the same amount of time to finish. The unique images and videos you create give your website brand credibility, and they can be very engaging for most users. Infographics and charts are also popular content that present data in an easily accessible form that gives people insight into the things they care about. You can ask guest authors to write for your blog, and you can do the same for theirs. This creates mutual trust, and both blogs can link back to each other. These were just some examples of healthy practices you can do to generate backlinks and drive traffic to your website. Work on your website. As we mentioned earlier, the website's interface plays a significant role in your search engine ranking, and it should be a pillar of your SEO strategy. Get rid of any fluff and keep the website clean looking. Don't fill it with pictures and ads, and make sure people know who you are and what you're selling from the get-go. The website has to load fast, or else your search engine ranking will be poor. Any visitor would be annoyed with a slow-loading website, and they'd just close it and look for another that loads faster. You can't develop customer loyalty with a poor user experience, and a sluggish website is the essence of a poor user experience. You should use several headings to make navigation smoother across your website. People need to find whatever it is they're looking for with ease. Those headings should include keywords, not just for SEO purposes, but also to improve navigation. Our eyes always find headlines first, and it would be great if that headline answered your question or told you what you need to do next. Working on your website and constantly improving every aspect makes it easier for customers to find you. Try to think ahead and anticipate visitors' needs and questions. Ask yourself what features you wished were there when you were looking for products or services online. Include answers to these questions that site visitors might have, like your location, working hours, and contact information. Your business needs to be accessible to customers. Companies that detach themselves and put a distance between them and customers rarely make it in the digital age that we are in. Invest in social media. Regardless of what you think of social media, it can be a very powerful ally in your quest to grow your business and reach more customers. People spend many hours of their day across social platforms like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn. This is why social media is a crucial part of your SEO strategy, and it complements your efforts to grow your online presence. People often look for company pages and products on social media, and if you're not on these social platforms, you risk losing a lot of leads that could otherwise be a part of your client base. Your social media goals should be aligned with your SEO strategy, as the two are a part of the bigger digital marketing strategy. If your goal from both social media and search engine optimization is to generate more leads or increase traffic to your website, this should reflect on the content on your website and your social media pages. In many cases, you will use your social platforms to drive traffic to your website through sharing interesting blog posts, videos, or product pages. When people click on the links you shared via social media, they will be redirected to your website, reflecting positively on your SEO ranking. When you manage to leverage social media to your advantage, it's not just your website that could rank higher in search engine results, but also your company's social media profiles when people look for relevant terms or your company. You want people to be invested in your social media posts and your content, so you have to keep working on both simultaneously. When you're creating social media posts, you need to keep your SEO strategy in mind. Use the same relevant keywords that you've used on your website. You include keywords on your website to rank higher on search engines and to also relate to the customer's pain points and questions. When people find a link to an article about something they were curious about or wanted to buy, they click on it. This is why you should follow the same approach with your social media as part of your efforts to anticipate your customers' needs. This will create more engagement with your social media content and increase brand awareness. Speaking of giving the customers what they want, it should be a given that your target audience with SEO should be the same as your social media content. It's the same consumer profile, but you're just addressing them through a different platform. In other words, don't use a different tone of voice on your social platforms than on your website. It should be consistent with your brand and what people can expect to find on your website. Just think of a company that uses a serious tone on its website and a tongue-in-cheek, sarcastic tone on social media. It confuses readers and might be off-putting to many. You have access to a ton of useful social media insights and data that can inform you about the success of your social campaigns and your SEO efforts. Social media is even more telling because you get to see what kind of content your audience interacts with the most. What posts did they like, comment on, or ignore? This kind of data shows you what interests your audience so you can offer them more of the same. With specific platforms, you get more detailed insights too. Twitter, for example, gives you data about the audience shopping patterns and lifestyle. In contrast, Facebook audience insights show location and age, data which you can use to tailor content for your specific consumers. One last thing you need to do is to link your social media platforms on your website. As we said, your SEO and social efforts complement one another, so you need to redirect people from your website to your social platforms and vice versa. When people stumble on your website and find credible social media pages, this builds up brand confidence and gets you more followers and, in turn, more engagement. This is why you will never find a credible company without direct links to social media platforms on the website. This increases your SEO ranking too. Google algorithms identify the social media buttons on your website, which puts you higher in search engine results as a result. Local search marketing. As a small business, you're more likely to be interested in a local audience at first. You can definitely aim higher for a national or even global audience, but that comes later. When you're first starting out, you want people in your town to find you when they're looking for your kind of product. This is where local search marketing comes in. The goal of this approach, which complements your SEO efforts, is to put you on the map in local search results when consumers are looking for a company like yours. If you live in New York and you want an antique store nearby, you won't write Antique Store USA in your search query. You'd write Antique Store New York or Near Me. To sum up, there are some practices that you need to do to put your business on the local map in search results. To be accessible to local audiences, your online content needs to be optimized so that search engines know everything they need to know about your business. This means providing the accurate name for your business, address, and phone number, not to mention a valid URL. This information must be provided so search engines can recognize your business as trustworthy and identify your location. Any inaccuracies with this information could harm your search engine ranking. Fortunately, There are relevant directories that you can send information to be recognized by search engine algorithms. For a small business starting out, the first thing you have to do is create a profile on Google My Business. This tool gives you the ability to add your business location on Google Maps, the tool that most people use when they want to find a location. This, in turn, will show your business in local search results when users search for a business like yours in their vicinity. When you add your company to Google My Business, you also add relevant information, including your working hours and contact information. Other tools like Google My Business, such as Bing Places for Business and Yelp. Adding your location and contact information to those platforms increases the likelihood of search engines showing your business first when customers look for companies that offer your kind of services. Create profiles on these platforms and verify the information there. Make sure your info is consistent across all platforms and complete. If your business information is inconsistent across these directories, this could confuse search engine algorithms, and your business may not show up in local search results. When you're listing your business in local directories, add it into the right categories. Not only do you need to add it to the right category, but you also have to be specific. For example, saying that your business is a boutique store is not specific enough for a directory like Google My Business. You should specify what kind of product you sell, like a handmade jewelry boutique store. The same goes for restaurant, which is too general. Burger takeout, on the other hand, is more specific and lets local search engines know exactly where to put your business. Email marketing. Email marketing is one digital marketing technique that is often forgotten by many small business owners, despite its effectiveness. It's a low-cost approach to reaching many users, and it can be used to complement your SEO strategy. Email marketing can drive users to your website with the right mailing list, boosting your rankings and ensuring steady traffic to your portal. Email marketing is the practice of sending emails to customers on your mailing list to inform them of new products and offers, among other things. Your emails always contain a link to your website, which in turn drives users to your website and generates leads. Email marketing is so effective because it costs nothing, and it helps you develop a connection with the users on your mailing list. When you create personalized emails to users, it catches their attention and drives engagement. Personalized emails are usually based on users' shopping patterns and browsing histories, which means you'll send people things they actually look for online and want. If you send a blog post about hunting to someone whose search history is about hunting gear and seasons, they'll more than likely be interested. Your market research and data come in handy when you're sending out emails to attract new users and raise brand awareness. You need to keep all email marketing content on your website, meaning don't send an email about a post on another blog rather than your own. Email marketing aims to eventually drive traffic to your website and generate leads. Moreover, don't tell the reader everything in the email. Again, you want them to click on your link and go to the website to view your products and services. If you give them every detail in the email, they won't do that. Just add the right keywords, personalize your email, and make sure the content of the email can be easily traced to your website in case someone wants to search for it later directly on the website rather than through the email. In line with what we've explained earlier about social media, you should add buttons in your emails to redirect users to your social platforms. This drives traffic to your social profiles, which eventually reflects on your website traffic. Social media platforms can even offer better motivation to users to check your website out. People often check brand engagement and interaction with other customers across social platforms before they invest their time and money buying. Having social media buttons in your email also makes it easier for people to share your offers or new products with friends and family. Last but not least, the most important thing to ensure the success of your email marketing campaigns is to develop the right mailing list. You need active recipients who will open emails and engage with your content. The key to attracting people like that is your market study and understanding the type of audience you want to engage. People will stumble on your website quite often, but the ones that sign up for newsletters and updates are the ones you want on your mailing list. You should leverage ads on your website and social media pages to encourage people to sign up for your mailing list. Make it lucrative enough so that customers would want to sign up to be notified of any updates regarding your brand. For every $1 spent on email marketing, you can make up to $42 on average as a return, as reported by DMA Marketer Email Tracker. In other words, email marketing isn't something you can afford to ignore. Whether you're using embedded sign-up forms or pop-ups, make sure you try to sell your customers on signing up for the mailing list. Pay per click, PPC. PPC marketing is the last approach we'll talk about to drive traffic to your website and improve your search engine ranking. This is a model of online advertising where you only pay if someone clicks on your ad. This model has its pros and cons, but generally speaking, it's good for small businesses, as you only pay for clicks when someone is actually redirected to your website. These ads will appear on the top and sides of search query or before videos. They are a good approach to generating leads, and you can invest in PPC marketing as much as you want. You pay more money for more popular keywords that might have higher competition than the average ones. These were some of the digital marketing techniques you could use to improve your search engine ranking and drive traffic to your website. SEO is an ongoing process that you need to monitor and constantly adapt. Leverage the data you can access through analytics tools and use it to refine your approach to reach more people. When it comes to all those techniques we talked about, what matters the most is hiring the right people for the job. You need competent content creators and marketers to carry out your digital marketing strategy for you. It might seem like a pricey investment to hire a marketing team or outsource the job to an agency, but it'll probably be the best investment for your small business. Marketing is how you grow, and if you get the right people on the job, the sky's the limit. When it comes to search engine ranking, you should always aim high. Studies show that most people don't go beyond the first page of search results, the second at most. This is why you need to aim high and try to be on those first 2 pages so your target audience can find you. Be patient and observe your progress. Getting a high search engine ranking won't happen overnight. It's the result of continuous work to optimize your content and use techniques like email marketing. Do it right for long enough, and your website might just rank on the first few search results. Offline marketing. While offline marketing isn't nearly as effective as digital marketing, it can still yield good results, especially for small businesses. When your company is just starting out, you can focus on the little details that big businesses often skip. This can give you a competitive edge, and you don't have to invest in highly expensive offline marketing techniques too. There are simpler ways to reach your customers. Mailing. You might not believe it, but some companies still send out physical mail. Sure, an email can reach a lot more people, and it's cheaper. But many people still prefer physical mail. And if they get a voucher or a sample of your product, this could go a long way into making them love and trust your brand. Sending mail is also more personal, and it lets the customers know that you care, because sending out a mail package takes a lot more time and consideration than an email. Plus, most people prefer the feel of a physical product or voucher in their hands. You can send a printed business newsletter in the mail or a special offer notification to let the locals know of your discounts. You can also send a sample of your products, but this is a bit pricey, though it can be very effective. Invest in packaging. The package in which you send your products is probably the best way to market your company. People love a well-designed package, and if yours stands out, you guarantee that you'll have your customers' attention. You don't even have to splurge on expensive packaging, but just get a bit creative with the designs. Something as simple as your product packaging can give you the edge over a competitor that sells the same products but doesn't have such good packaging. Customers love boxes and bags with cool designs that they can reuse later, and it might just be incentive enough for many to come back and buy from you. Plus, good packaging will draw the attention of others that don't know your brand and pique their interest. There are more effective offline marketing techniques if you have the budget for it, like renting billboard space. If you do it in an area with high traffic and if the design is good, You could generate many leads, and it will get you a significant business exposure. Add the relevant details about your business on the billboard, starting with the product or service you offer and your contact information and your website or physical address. Cheaper offline marketing techniques that still work include printout ads, like flyers and banners. You can add those to the places you know people will swing by and might be interested in your products, such as bookstores or bus stations.